It's bad enough, like I said, almost losing the house and everything, then people robbing them. That's not right.
Thieves targeting fire victims. What people in one central Kentucky county say these people are stealing.
So much is taken off my shoulders.
Relieved mothers of 2 Kentucky teens who were on the run for weeks are speaking out.
And how this woman's parents got lured into a scam that cost them their life's savings, coming up.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30. Stay connected to the news that matters to you.
Moments this morning when a central Kentucky house caught fire while the homeowners were still inside.
Neighbors rescued that homeowner, but fire damage is not the victim's only concern. Estill County firefighters tell us there's a growing problem of thieves going into burned out homes and stealing anything they can salvage. Sean Moody talked with neighbors who tell us what these criminals are after. It's our top story at 5:30.
I seen a blaze on the chimney, and I was scared to death. So we started banging on every window, and I thought we was going to break it. But we knowed we had to get somebody out.
Jane Wiseman lives around the corner from the burning house. She helped get the homeowner out. What makes this story a little different than other house fires is the homeowner told us he doesn't want us to shoot the house. Out of respect, we won't show you the whole house or tell you where it is. This is why.
Then people sees it on TV, hear it back in the newspaper, and they said, and they'll go and break in and steal everything they can steal. They'll sell, more likely to get drugs.
This is something the Estill County Fire Chief says has been going on for several years. Here's an example. Back in July, this vacant home went up in smoke and someone broke into it.
People having house fires or something like that, and then that night someone coming in, and whether they're stealing electric wires or just anything that they could take.
Have people, as nutty as they are, to come and take everything what's left. They don't care about what they have to replace or anything. And sir, there's a lot of things you can't replace. And it's bad enough, like I said, almost losing the house and everything, then people robbing them. That's not right.
Ms. Wiseman has one final warning for anyone who tries to take advantage.
We watch out for our neighbors.
Amen.
They better watch it.
Thank you, ma'am.
In Estill County, Sean Moody, WKYT.
A fire is believed to have begun in the chimney area. No one was injured.
A Grayson County teenager has agreed to come back to Kentucky. Dalton Hayes and Cheyenne Phillips were on the run for about 2 weeks. They were arrested in Florida yesterday. During a court appearance today, Hayes agreed to return to the state. Officials said the couple was found inside a truck that was reported stolen in Georgia. The mothers of the teenagers said they're relieved that their children were safely apprehended.
It was immediate stress relief for me. I was just glad they were both safe and unharmed.
So much is taken off my shoulders, and it was just a relief to know that they were, safe.
Hayes is expected to be charged with burglary, theft, criminal trespassing, and criminal mischief. Phillips will face charges in juvenile court because she's a minor. Grayson County court records show that Hayes was already facing burglary and theft charges when the couple first took off.
We are learning new details about a wild police chase in Laurel County early yesterday morning. A fugitive from Virginia was captured near Corbin after first stealing 2 cars, one of them a constable's car. Police have now charged that man with attempted murder of a police officer. Phil Pendleton is at UK Hospital where the suspect is under heavy guard. It's a story that's new at 5:30.
The suspect in what was a wild and dangerous night for drivers and police in southern Kentucky now being held here at UK Hospital for what I'm told is a collapsed lung. But 18-year-old Donald Fox is to be considered a dangerous criminal. And in fact, I'm told that he has 2 sheriff's deputies by his bedside. Police say Donald Fox stole a car, but after he crashed it, he somehow managed to steal a constable's car that responded to that first wreck. Police say Fox drove more than 100 miles an hour, weaving in and out of traffic from Corbin to London and then back to Corbin again along US 25. He's charged with attempted murder because he fought with and is accused of trying to run over a deputy who shot out one of his tires.
Was bailing out the passenger door as the car was coming to rest, jumped over a guardrail and got into a scuffle with officers who deployed a taser to finally take him into custody.
Now, Fox is from Virginia. I'm told that he faces a number of very serious charges, including car theft. Because of the holiday, it's been difficult for us to get information on exactly the details of his criminal record. In Lexington, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Fox is accused of crashing into a car with 4 people inside. Several of them had minor injuries.
A head-on collision sends one person to the hospital. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Estill County. It happened around noon on Spout Spring Road. A deputy tells us the driver of a car was going around a curve toward Powell County and crossed over into the lane of a pickup truck. The truck hit the car and the truck went into a ditch. The driver of the truck was taken to the hospital. In Christian County, a 2-year-old boy was killed after being hit by a train. Hopkinsville police say the child was hit about 9:30 this morning. Officers say the train conductor blew the horn and tried to brake but couldn't avoid the child. The child was alone when the crash happened. Police say they found the boy's parents, who didn't even know that he had left their house. And in Pulaski County, police have arrested a man accused of robbing a bank. Earlier this month, Burnside police say 34-year-old Larry Greenleaf robbed the First and Farmers Bank. We're told the man walked into the bank, showed a weapon, and demanded money. Police arrested Greenleaf on Friday at a home on Highway 80. We're told that Greenleaf also has prior convictions for robbery in Ohio.
A beautiful start to the work week. It's hard to believe that last week temperatures were struggling to get above freezing. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell has a look at how long this beautiful weather will stick around in a first look at your forecast. Jim?
Unfortunately, Sam, it's not going to last very long at all. We'll go into this again tomorrow, but once we get toward midweek, things start to change. There you see the sun setting on this gorgeous day in central and eastern Kentucky. Beautiful one. And right now in Lexington, we are still holding on to that warmth. It's 54 degrees. Now, as that sun continues to set, the temperatures will drop along with it as we head through the rest of the evening and overnight tonight. So a little bit chilly out there, probably early tomorrow morning, hovering around the freezing mark. So a chill in the air. There you see Defender. It's all calm. We look around us as far as temperatures are concerned, and you're going to find some pretty chilly air just up the road. I mean, you go up to Columbus, they're at 42. 33 as close as parts of northern Ohio and also into Michigan, and very warm stuff showing up just out to our south and west, where they were closer to 70 degrees in many locations earlier today. Here's our daily breakdown for you as we look at this mild trend. It holds on. It's fighting at least for another day, but that midweek front will bring some much cooler conditions, and it will also set us up for the potential of some wintry weather. We'll take a closer look at that coming up for you here in just a few minutes.
Jim, thank you. Folks around Lexington are definitely taking advantage of these mild temperatures. We found plenty of people enjoying the sunshine around town. One woman told us they just got back from Florida and the weather is warmer here.
This is awesome weather for January. We were just in Florida and it's warmer here right now than it was when we were in Florida last weekend, so it's really nice.
Well, like Jim mentioned, we could be seeing more of this weather tomorrow.
Here's a story that comes with a warning that can save you from losing your life's savings. This scam is ruining the lives of an increasing number of people.
We would call my mother and the phone was disconnected.
This was just the beginning of the problems Lynn West found her mother and stepfather had fallen into.
That was a big red flag. My mother has always paid her bills. She's very careful about money. So we couldn't reach her. So I drove over and said, "Mom, what's going on? Why is your phone disconnected?"
Her mother said they had a huge bill they couldn't pay.
I said, what do you mean $1,000 bill? I mean, my mother's phone bills would be like $12. You know, how could you possibly have $1,000 bill? And she said, "Well, we have friends in another country."
Lynn soon realized her parents were caught in a vicious lottery scam, and they truly trusted the voice on the phone more than her own family.
They were so gullible and so vulnerable that he could just morph into one thing after another. He would praise my mother, and "You're the mom I never had, and I love you so much."
Originally, the voice on the phone said they won a $3 million sweepstakes and a Mercedes-Benz. All they had to do was pay the fees and taxes. In all, the family lost more than $200,000, and the couple's finances were in shambles.
The scammer is a psychological mastermind. He can get inside the head of these people, and they think that they are in control, but they are under some sort of spell with him.
Lynn and her siblings held interventions, involved authorities, anything to keep her parents from sending money.
As they were willing to participate in whatever it was, there was nothing I could do unless they could be deemed incompetent, which my mother and her husband were not.
Postal inspectors say there are some warning signs to look for, like notes with phone numbers or odd names.
Green dot cards lying around, stacks of them. They'll usually hang on to those because the criminal doesn't need the actual card. He just needs the number on the back.
Inspectors say, remember, these con artists are merciless.
Such a terrible, terrible thing to happen to my sweet, kind mother that would never do anything to anyone, would never hurt anyone else. It is such a cruel way for her to end up in her last years.
Now, Lynn says her mother and stepfather lost all of this money in just 5 months. Postal inspectors encourage families to talk about the finances of elderly loved ones before it's too late.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Statewide television ads are starting early in the governor's race.
And Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes says she's running for office. Bill Bryant tells us what races she might file for in the bottom line.
Good evening. Republican candidate for governor Hal Heiner is about to launch statewide television ads designed to build his name recognition and introduce him to primary voters. Heiner, who is a developer and former Louisville council member, has set aside close to $4 million of his own money for his campaign, and he's raising money through contributions. Heiner's campaign announced over the weekend he's receiving some backing from some school choice groups. It comes as Agriculture Commissioner James Comer is set to officially file this coming Thursday after starting his campaign last September with a high visibility rally in his hometown of Tompkinsville. And former Supreme Court Justice Will T. Scott, who filed last week, is making a lot of stops around the state as well. Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes creating some mystery by saying she will run for statewide office this year, but she's not saying which office she'll seek. Grimes, the Democrat who lost to U.S. Senate Republican Mitch McConnell in November, says that she is considering her options. Grimes says she's been encouraged to run for governor, attorney general, or for another term as Secretary of State. She had a campaign photographer along with her for MLK events in Lexington today. President Obama putting the finishing touches on his State of the Union address and signaling that he will call for raising capital gains and inheritance taxes. He says he wants to tax wealthy Americans more to create opportunities for the middle class. Republicans indicate they want tax reform, but not the kind the president has in mind. The president's speech to a joint session of Congress will be tomorrow night at 9. Kentucky's filing deadline for partisan statewide candidates now a week from tomorrow on Tuesday, January 27th. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
People in Clark County helping a family grieving a terrible loss are closer to their fundraising goal.
15-year-old Cole Hahn died from meningitis last month. To help his family with funeral costs, friends organized a benefit at Justice Elementary School for them over the weekend. Their goal is to raise $10,000 on a GoFundMe page set up for Hahn's family. And right now, they're very close. They've raised almost $9,700.